AI isn't going to replace the entire workforce overnight. The real change is quieter. It compresses the middle. It reduces the number of in-between roles that exist to move information from one place to another. Not the people who make the final decision, not the people who do the physical work, but the layers in between. Analysts who turn messy data into slides, coordinators who chase updates and compile reports, junior project roles that translate status into plans, support operations roles that route tasks, answer repeat questions, and document processes. In the AI era, those middle layers are where the first pressure builds. Not because they have no value, but because a large part of their value was speed and organization. And AI makes speed and organization cheaper. So this is the shift. AI doesn't only automate tasks. It changes how many people you need to run a process. When one person can do the work that used to take 2 or 3 headcount compresses, and when headcount compresses, job ladders change, that's the AI middle layer. That doesn't mean the work disappears. It means the same organization can run with fewer humans doing it. And the humans who remain will be expected to do a different kind of work. Now, what roles get compressed first? You can think of it in 4 buckets. First, reporting and summarization roles. Anything where the main output is a weekly report, a deck, or a status update. Because AI can generate first drafts instantly. Summarize meetings, pull action items, highlight risks, even create a basic story flow. Humans still need to check accuracy, but the time required drops sharply. So fewer people are needed for the same reporting output. Second, coordination roles. Roles built around chasing information, scheduling, updating trackers, sending reminders, keeping projects aligned. AI doesn't replace trust and leadership, but it can reduce coordination costs. Automated updates, auto-generated task lists, auto-summaries, auto-routing of issues. That reduces the number of humans needed to keep the machine moving. Third, analysis roles that are template-driven. If the analysis is fill in the model, update the inputs, write the summary, AI will pressure it. Not because AI is perfect at analysis, but because it can do 80% quickly. And companies often accept 80% if it's fast and cheap. So the analyst becomes an editor, not a generator. Fourth, customer and internal support roles for repeat questions. Help desks, internal ops, standard how do I requests, FAQ type support. AI can handle many of these instantly, especially in text-first organizations. So support teams shift from answering everything to handling edge cases and escalation. Now here's the key point. Compression is not the same as replacement. Many of these roles still exist, but fewer slots exist. That's why it feels like hiring freezes instead of mass layoffs, because companies simply stop backfilling. They stop hiring juniors at the same rate. They combine roles. They raise productivity expectations. The headcount reduction happens gradually, but it's real. So what determines whether a job survives compression? 3 things. 1. Ownership. If your role owns an outcome, it's harder to compress. If your role produces inputs for someone else's outcome, it's easier to compress. Ownership is protection. 2. Judgment. If your role requires judgment under uncertainty, AI supports it but doesn't replace it. If your role is mostly formatting and summarization, AI can do it. Judgment is protection. 3. Relationships. Work that depends on trust, negotiation, persuasion, and human alignment remains sticky. AI can draft messages, but it cannot hold relationships. So relationship-heavy roles can be more durable. That brings us to the bigger structural change. AI doesn't just alter jobs. It alters career ladders. In many industries, the middle layer is the training ground. Juniors enter through reporting and coordination. They learn how the organization works. They learn the language. They learn how decisions are made. Then they move up. If that entry layer compresses, the pipeline narrows. So companies face a challenge. How do you train talent when the apprenticeship layer shrinks? One answer is that junior roles become more outcome-driven. Less busy work. More real ownership earlier. But that requires better systems, better mentorship, and clearer expectations. Not all companies will do it well. So the AI middle layer can create talent bottlenecks later. Fewer juniors today can mean fewer seniors tomorrow. Now, what happens inside organizations as the middle layer compresses? Teams get smaller. Spans of control expand. Managers oversee broader scopes. And decision velocity becomes more important. Because when you have fewer intermediaries, leaders must process information faster and decide faster. So the organization becomes flatter. Not completely flat, but flatter. And with fewer layers, communication must become cleaner. That's why systems matter. The winners will build workflows where AI handles the transformation layer, and humans handle judgment and outcomes. Now, who benefits from this shift? In the near term, companies benefit. They get more output per employee. They reduce cost. They increase speed. But workers who sit in the transformation layer face more pressure. They'll be competing in a tighter market. So the winners at the individual level will be the people who adapt their role upward, from producer to editor, from coordinator to owner, from analyst to decision partner. So what does that look like in practice? If you're in reporting, become the person who defines the narrative and the decision. If you're in coordination, become the person who owns delivery and risk. If you're in analysis, become the person who frames the right questions and validates conclusions. If you're in support, become the person who handles edge cases and designs the support system. The move is always the same. Shift from making information to owning outcomes. Now, what should you watch if you want to see middle layer compression happening in real time? Look for 4 signals. First, fewer entry-level listings and corporate functions. Second, hybrid roles where companies combine tasks that used to be separate. Third, rising productivity targets per employee. And fourth, AI workflows replacing internal reporting pipelines. This won't arrive as one headline. It arrives as a slow redesign of headcount. The middle layer shrinks. The remaining roles become more outcome-focused. And the organizations that can do this without breaking their talent pipeline will win. Here's the takeaway. AI is not only a tool, it's a lever on organizational structure. And the first pressure is in the middle layer, the transformation layer, where information becomes cheap. So if you want to stay safe, move up the value chain. Own outcomes, develop judgment, build relationships, because the middle is where compression hits first. And in the AI era, the people who can turn AI output into real decisions will be the ones who stay in the game.